My name is Shay, and I'm a student here at Tarleton State University with a major in animal science. And today I'll be giving a quick little presentation over proper restraints for dogs and why you want to use these and why these are so important. So why do we even want to use restraints? What's the reasoning? Why do we care about restraints? So the number one reason that these are so important is for safety. Safety should always be priority when dealing with a dog or an animal of any kind, period, whether it be a small animal, large animal, something exotic, livestock, doesn't matter. Safety should always be the number one priority. And so one way that we can achieve safety and minimize any risk of injury or anything from going wrong is through gaining control of the dog, of the animal, whatever it is that you're using. For this, we're going to be talking specifically about dogs. So to gain control, you're going to want to use restraints. When you gain control, you have more of an upper hand as far as being in control of what's going on, what that dog is doing, how close he's getting to you as far as being in his bite zone, which is the area where he can bite you. You want to be in his line of sight to where he's not stressing out so much, or she isn't stressing out so much, isn't so nervous, can still keep eyes on you, see what's going on, and be comfortable, but also you don't want to be in their face to where they can bite you. So safety and control is the number one reason why we want to use those restraints. So the first couple of restraints we're going to look at are the ones that essentially just get the dog from point A to point B, and that's going to be collars, harnesses, and leashes. So for collars, there's a couple different types. You have your typical standard, collar, just kind of buckles or clips, and it's very comfortable for the dog. However, they do tend to slip out sometimes, and so that kind of minimizes your control, obviously, if they slip out and you have no control. So another kind that you can use is a head collar, and that one is going to go around the muzzle, goes around the head. It gives you a lot more control. However, it's obviously not as comfortable for the dog being on the face in that area, but definitely gives you a lot more control. And then another type of collar that you can use is a prong collar. It is not comfortable for the dog whatsoever. This is my dog. She wears one now. She does not like it when we have to use it. And so, like I said, very similar to the head collar. It definitely is less comfortable. However, you do gain a lot more control. For harnesses, they're all generally the same. They go around the chest and the body. These are very good to use for brachycephalic breeds, such as your Frenchies, your Boston Terriers, your Bulldogs, anything with that squished face that has difficulty with breathing. Rather than putting more strain on the throat with a collar and having something, pulling on that airway, this minimizes that and gives them more freedom to breathe rather than adding to the problems of their breathing. And then for the leashes, there's a couple. They're all generally the same. You hook them on, you hold them, and they get from point A to point B. So you have your typical one that you can buy, just, material, you clip it, you hold it, and it varies in length depending on what you're looking for. There's also retractable leashes, which give the dog a lot more freedom. They can lock, however, they tend to get a lot of slack in them. They can go way out there. If you're wanting to have control, and really maintain control, this is probably not one that you want to go with. But the dog, like I said, they do get some freedom from it. So, if they're just playing or something like that, then maybe that's what you want to lean towards. And the last one is a slip lead. And with a slip lead, you really don't need a collar or a harness. You put it on, and it goes through a ring, it slips through the ring, and then it goes around the neck. If they pull, it'll tighten. If they, let up a little bit, it'll release. And so you have control, and it can be comfortable, it can be uncomfortable, just depends on how the dog does. You really want to base it off of the dog's behavior. Okay, so we've gone over some of the restraints to use for walking your dog when they're on the ground, as far as having control of them then. But however, when they're on the table, you use a couple of different things. So when they're on the table, the first thing that you can try and use is a grooming loop. It's pretty standard, pretty typical. If you go to any vet clinic, they probably have these, especially grooming salons. These definitely have them. They're very easy to use, pretty comfortable, very quick and easy. Another one that you can see, and these are often paired with the grooming loop, is the belly strap. These go under the abdomen to provide some extra support, keep that back end from moving so much, or if they're older, geriatric, maybe have joint issues, knee issues, something like that, it just provides some extra support. Following these, you can also find a groomer's helper. So this is very similar to a grooming loop. The only difference is that there's an extra clip in the front that will hold the dog's head forward as well, so that it can't move and thrash to the side as much, and it definitely minimizes that bite zone. So for the standing restraint, you're going to want to have one hand completely slid up underneath the neck and hold the neck still. That way the dog can't thrash, can't throw its head around, can't bite so much. And then with that other one, you're going to want to support under the abdomen. It minimizes control of that back end, and again, if they're older, something like that gives them support. I use this one a lot for my older dogs if I have to do a nail trim. If they're having trouble standing, balancing on one leg, I'll have somebody help and hold him, give him support, or her, whatever, support that dog where I'm able to clip the nails and take that weight and that pressure off of something that might be uncomfortable to them. Back to safety, the reason that we restrain these dogs the way that we do is all based off of their anatomical structure. So as far as where their joints move, how they move, where those bones are positioned at, that sort of thing, as far as being able to limit that movement without putting any pressure or dislocating or causing any injury, that's what we want to do, and that's why we have these restraints the way that we do.